Torsten actually started work as a fireworks designer, he told me, in Tivoli Gardens. And if you've ever been there, it's one of the great old entertainment centres of Copenhagen, or almost the world. Started the world's first, probably, theme park. But as a pyrotechnist, it's a long way from creating hi-fi equipment or technology. Hopefully you didn't bring any of that in your luggage, Torsten. But you know, one of the things that Torsten quotes in some of the work he's written about was, one chases the impossible knowing that in the end it will yield the possible. That says everything about a perfectionist. And so please welcome Torsten Valeur. Thank you.
Yeah, my background is I'm educated from the architect school in Copenhagen, which means I started doing urban planning, houses, streets and things like that, and ended up taking my major in the smallest details. And I phoned David Lewis and asked him if he had an empty table for me. And I think it took him 6 months to decide, or at least after 6 months he phoned me and said, yes, you can come Monday. And David, he is an Englishman, or was an Englishman that moved in the early 60s to Denmark from London. He met a wife, he met his wife, a Dane, and that set his destiny. He came to Denmark and he started working for a Danish company doing radios and television. Bang Olufsen was one of 7 or 8 Danish producers of televisions in that time, but they took a decision in the beginning of the 60s to pay attention to design and you could say take design serious as a kind of strategic tool to separate themselves from the others. And that paid off because they ended up in the beginning of the 70s of being the only Danish manufacturer of television that survived. And strangely enough, it seems we are getting close to the time where they're the only European television, independently television producer that's going to survive. So how do you make something that's actually bigger look smaller? The curvature that fools your eye to believe it's smaller is what came into play here. And then the second part of it, the expression of sound coming from the tube out. I want to play it a little bit more poetic, like lamellas that fanned out the sound. Also in the way things, that's one thing that has happened through the last 25 years is that we all maybe more used to understand form and are able to instant read a little bit more complex form that you did maybe 25 years ago, and regard a little bit more complex form as simple, which is why you see a little bit more sculpturing, so to say, in the new speakers compared to the other one. That was only possible because of the acoustic lens technology that made the high frequency stand above the lamellas, because if it had to be in there, you'll have a lot of distortion from lamellas. That doesn't matter at all on the middle and lower range of the frequency. The high end also, I mean, I like the acoustic lens because you can look at it and it really looks like a blowing instrument. You can see almost how the sounds travel out and around in the room. And I want to emphasize that by having the top following the acoustic curves underneath. And then there's a little the black one is a light ring that lights up when you powers on the speakers and change color and lights off when you're switching off again.